more fun, folks.
All right. Well, guys, it's time for Grace's News. And Howie, I want to keep going with this theme of the fake hate crimes and, just the media spewing this ridiculous unicorn, situation. They think that we're all buying into this, and it really makes me laugh. But YouTube will lift the ban on Trump channel when risk of violence decreases.
You mean because they don't want another day like yesterday with this unrestrained, horrible violence and bloodshed in the Capitol? Can we hear some more? Let's hear some more of the audio of the terrible violence yesterday. See, YouTube is a responsible media outlet. They don't want to encourage any more of this stuff like happened yesterday, Grace. Don't you understand that?
I totally agree. YouTube suspended Trump's channel for violating policies against inciting violence after the assault in the U.S. Capitol. And Howie,
they also took down Right Side Broadcasting. That was one of my favorite channels during the campaign. I like those guys. They're just a bunch of goofballs from Alabama, but they worked their asses off getting around the country. Well,
of course you liked it. You're a Neanderthal.
I am. I'm an irredeemable.
You know what I wore today, Howie? My deplorable sweatshirt.
Bubba Wallace, inventor of fake news.
Hey, Howie, I just wanted to give you an update. I know you were playing some sound of what happened yesterday, but I don't know if you've heard this little piece of news. Ted Lieu had to grab 2 crowbars yesterday.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm just getting this in. I'm just getting this in from the field. It was actually 2 crowbars. I'm sorry, peanut butter flavored.
AOC said she hasn't been this frightened since she turned on a garbage disposal and heard it for the first time. She was even more frightened yesterday with the non-existent riot than she was when she discovered that lettuce doesn't come out of a box. It comes out of the ground.
Well, you know what
she just discovered that at the age of 29.
You know what I found kind of amazing, Howie, is that Eric Swalwell, or as we like to call him here, President Swalwell, he is suing Donald Trump for the riots on January 6th. And the part of it that I really find amazing is that then he has the audacity to make fun of Ron Johnson, the senator who made them read the COVID relief bill last night.
Yeah.
And he says it's theater. And I'm thinking to myself, you're accusing someone else of theater? The guy is like an actor for the Democrat Party. All he does is media hits, none of which ever talk about Fang or anything like that. He was involved in the worst reality TV show of the last 50 years, which was the Russian collusion hoax, right? He was a co-star. He wasn't the lead, like Adam Schiff or James Comey or Robert Mueller, but he had a supporting role, didn't he? Yeah, he was a great supporting actor. He would have been up for worst supporting actor if the Oscars gave such a statuette. But Howie, not to mention he took part in the sequels, the impeachment, the Ukraine second impeachment. Yeah. That was like one of those things, like sometimes the sequel could be really good. Godfather 1, Godfather 2. This sequel went from Godfather 1 to Godfather 3. It skipped over Godfather 2. Yikes. That's how you know it's bad. In other news, Howie, I don't know so this actually came out yesterday, and I meant to read it on the news with you yesterday, but I forgot. Did you catch what happened with the New York Times? What's the latest? Their new job posting. Oh, I did see that. This is so great. These people dunk on themselves without even realizing it. The New York Times is catching heat over a new job posting that seeks an opinion editor with a, quote, spine of steel, end quote, fresh on the heels of the paper losing 3 staffers who published controversial columns. Right. They had a guy that had a spine of steel. His name was James Bennett. They fired him. That's what happens if you have a spine of steel at the New York Times. You get fired. So now they want to get, this is like being a baseball manager. They always say about baseball managers, you're hired to be fired. Whoever they're going to hire for this job is just being hired to be fired, right? It says, we're looking for an editor with a sense of humor and a spine of steel, a confident point of view and an open mind, an appetite for risk. An open mind. No. They mean the door is open. The mind is closed, like every other mind at the New York Times. an appetite for risk and exacting standards for excellence in writing and visual presentation. And this guy, Joe Walsh, he's a conservative radio host. He writes, someone who fits this description wouldn't last a day at the New York Times. And someone else said, this is essentially a complete list of characteristics not welcome among Times editors.
Right. I know it's a joke.
It's an absolute joke. Howie, do you see Trump's latest statements about Joe Biden's tsunami at the Mexican border?
I did. I just read it on Newsmax about an hour ago. It was great. It was a great statement. We're going to talk about this at 4:00.
The spiraling tsunami at the border is overwhelming local communities, depleting budgets, crowding hospitals, and taking jobs from legal American workers. I'm just, Howie, it's not so much that I'm amazed that this stuff is happening. I mean, I think you saw it coming. A lot of us did. But are you a little surprised at how quickly they're showing their hand? I mean, they're not even trying to pretend. They're everybody's worst nightmare, and we're only on day 45.
I don't think they realize how badly this is playing. I mean, people in South Texas, mainly Hispanics, are going crazy about this. Do you think they want to be deluged with crime and disease and welfare dependency? Hell no. No more so than any other American does. I mean, this is crazy. Do you remember when Obama was president and they were bringing in all these unaccompanied children, and you had these 20, 21-year-olds going to middle school in places like Lynn? And in Montgomery County, Maryland, and in like 3 months in Montgomery County, Maryland, at one point that they had, I think it was 10 illegal aliens charged with raping women in the county. I mean, is this what the Democrats want? Is this their dream society?
Well, I found it amazing today when I believe it was Emerald Robinson from Newsmax. She was asking Jen Psaki about this, and she said eventually the kids will go back. You know, this doesn't mean all the kids are going to be able to come into the United States. Eventually, we'll send them back. And it's like, I don't see that happening.
You know, another thing that got me, Grace,
117,000 kids. Right. 117,000.
There's a stat today. The first week of January, Trump was still president. They had 47 unaccompanied children, quote unquote children, come across the border. Now it is 321 a day. That means it's over 2,000 a week as opposed to under 50 a week with Trump. And they're all going to be wards of the state. They're all just going to be costing thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a year to the taxpayers. It's a
Absolutely.
Total drain on American society.
And it's like everything else in this country where it frustrates me to no end, but people have to have things happen directly in front of their face and in their own backyard to wake up to it. So no one can say, oh, well, you know, I know we're not seeing it as much here in Massachusetts, which we are in, you know, if you really wanted to look, but it's not as prominent. But the fact that people can't say, but look at Texas, that could be us soon. Like that stuff drives me nuts. Why does it have to be happening to you for you to wake up to what's going to happen? Does that make sense?
But even when it does, I mean, look at Montgomery County. Like I said, they have a terrible, terrible problem with the illegal alien crime, and there were those multiple rapes. There was like one rape every 2 weeks a couple of years ago in Montgomery County from illegal aliens, and their executive, he's an elected moonbat, and Montgomery County is full of all these federal bureaucrats who make 150, 200, 250,000 a year for not doing much of anything. This county executive wants to defund the police. How can you defund the police when you have an invasion going on?
And what's really amazing is when you listen to these press conferences, the Biden administration has no plan. They have absolutely no plan. I don't know why they're surprised that with their, you know, soft talk on immigration that they would be flooded at the borders, but they don't have any plan. Their only thing they can say is like, we'll keep accepting the kids who come here, sent here by their loving parents across the border by themselves.
You know what happens, Grace, if you're a loving parent and you decide to stop at 7-Eleven to get a quart of milk or a loaf of bread, and you leave the kid in the car seat while you go inside? If a cop car pulls up, you're going to get a visit from the cop, and they're going to tell you that you weren't very loving parent to leave your kid in the car for 2 minutes. But these people, but you know, the Democrats, they just want to get these people into the country so they can become dependent on government largesse. And they don't care if it destabilizes the entire society as long as it provides them votes.
Yeah, but Howie, I don't want you to get too worked up about, illegal immigration or the economy, struggling or gas prices being through the roof, because I want you to keep in mind that Representative Al Green from Texas sat on the Capitol steps yesterday in protest of QAnon by himself. So our leaders are working, and they're working for us.
He took his life into his hands, his own hands. He risked his life against the QAnon terrorists. They were so crafty that they came invisibly. They used the cloak of invisibility, like the shadow.
There's a hero if you look inside your heart.
Rep Al Green, our hero.
He made a lot of great tunes. Did a lot of great tunes in the 70s and 80s. But his career in Congress has been rather checkered. He's had some Andrew Cuomo experiences, as you know, Grace.
Well, like he almost became president?
No, he had to make some settlements with some of his
those
aides.
kind of Andrew Cuomo.
Yes.
I get you. Sorry, I got mixed up.
Yes.
I didn't know if you were talking about 6 months ago Andrew Cuomo or today Andrew Cuomo. You've noticed a shift, Howie, that these media people suddenly, they're really upset with Andrew Cuomo. And Howie, actually, can I say one more thing? Did you see, I don't think I can find it here. The stack of stuff is just getting crazy, but did you see Molly Jong-Fast? She finally owned up to having like a terrible take on Andrew Cuomo. And she basically said, my worst take was that I thought Andrew Cuomo was America's boyfriend or whatever it was that she had said. But you know who she's blaming now for her bad take?
Trump.
Oh, yeah. Trump.
Of course. Is there anything he can't do?
You can't forget how scary it was under Trump. And that's why she had Stockholm syndrome.
It was like being in a totalitarian dictatorship for 4 years. The money was falling out of my pockets. Gas prices were under $2 a gallon. I hated it. It was terrible.
Oh, and how
everybody's always blaming me for everything.
Can I tell you one other thing? Did you see that New York State Senate leader said, if one more woman comes forward? And I just have to read you this. Stephen Miller retweeted the article from the Daily Mail, and it says, Cuomo should quit if one more accuser comes forward. And he wrote, believe women becomes believe every fourth woman. That's all I got, but I will be back for Police Blotter Facts Friday.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Hit refresh on your dinner routine with HelloFresh. Right now, you can take advantage of a new limited time offer and see why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh delivers simple recipes and high quality ingredients picked at the peak of ripeness so that they're bursting with flavor by the time they reach your doorstep. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or less. Try their 10 to 20 minute meals, low prep recipes, quick breakfast and lunch, perfect for your busy schedule. HelloFresh offers more than 25 recipes each week, so there is something for everyone to enjoy, all designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Jared's been enjoying them. What's your next meal from HelloFresh, Jared?
The next one I'm looking forward to is a sweet and smoky tenderloin. Sweet and smoky pork tenderloin with a cherry sauce glaze, and I cannot wait.
Pork tenderloin, very underrated cut of meat, and not that expensive either. But you don't have to go to Market Basket to get pork tenderloin. You can just get on with HelloFresh.com. You don't have to go to the store at all. No dealing with Karens, no masks, no one-way aisles. You know the routine. You've got to get 6 feet back from me. You don't have to worry about that with HelloFresh, and you get delicious foods. Over 4 out of 5 HelloFresh customers say HelloFresh helps them lead a healthier lifestyle with delicious, low-calorie, carb-smart, and vegetarian options every week. Get better value. HelloFresh is 28% cheaper than shopping at your local grocery store and 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal without sacrificing the quality. That's according to Zagat's dining survey. Go to HelloFresh.com/Howie12 and use Howie12 Code Howie12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping for a limited time only. That's HelloFresh.com/Howie12 and use code Howie12 for 12 free meals. I'm Howie Carr.